Hey guys, my name's Gloria and welcome to hell. I don't mean this channel, I just mean the world at large right now. Why not distract ourselves with some books? Today I want to talk about a book that I read recently on my never-ending journey to try and get rid of my physical TBR. I'll be doing a whole video on that. Before I started this book, I was at 44 physical books, and when I finished this book, I was at 46. No, I'm not that bad at numbers. I went to the library like an idiot. But today's book is actually a vintage classic book. It's one that's sort of been on the periphery of my brain for ages. It's Picnic at Hanging Rock by Joan Lindsay. Not Vintage Lindsay, because for a while I was looking at it thinking vintage is a weird first name. But it's by Joan Lindsay. I think it was published in the 1960s maybe, or this one seems to have 1967 on it, and despite what I might have thought when I picked it up, it isn't a true crime book. It's totally fiction. The author, Lindsay, seems to have started clickbait before the term clickbait even made any sense, because when people asked her if it was a true story or based on real people, she would just sort of say, oh, it's not really important, it's not for me to say. But she totally made it up. But her marketing seemed to work because it was quite popular. And it does read like a true account of an actual crime, or a disappearance at least, that happened. Not quite like in cold blood. I read that a few years ago. That was a fantastic book. It was much more detailed, obviously, because there were details. But this one still has news reports and police reports and stuff that sort of give more credence to the actual story. So I'm just going to read the blurb on the back. It was a cloudless summer day in the year 1900. Everyone at Appleyard College for Young Ladies agreed it was just right for a picnic at Hanging Rock. After lunch, a group of 3 girls climbed into the blaze of the afternoon sun, pressing on through the scrub into the shadows of Hanging Rock, further, higher, until at last they disappeared. They never returned. So the story follows a group of girls from a school called Appleyard College who are just going to Hanging Rock to have a picnic, a bit of a school outing. 3 of the girls go to take a closer look at the Hanging Rock, and they start to climb it, and they don't come back. Kind of. The rest of the story revolves around the local community, the school itself. There were a group of other tourists visiting the rock that did see the girls going, so it's them dealing with the mystery surrounding everything as well, and just the sort of impact that an unsettling mystery like this can have on the people who are left behind. So I kind of want to discuss the book in more in depth, so there are going to be spoilers here. One thing I won't spoil is what actually happens to the girls, because to be honest, it's not in the book. You don't ever find out what happens to the girls, despite the fact that one of the 3 girls who disappears is actually found alive, just conveniently without a memory. Going back to this, the back of this is actually lying to you, because it says they never returned, and that's not true. So what actually happens is 3 senior girls, 3 friends, decide to climb the rock, and a junior girl tags along with them, and something strange happens. The junior girl comes back in hysterics, and she can't seem to remember, she can't seem to articulate what happened, but the other 3 don't come back. And on her way back, she sees their maths teacher going in the direction of the Hanging Rock with no skirt on, which obviously is very bizarre, just in her pantaloons. Scandalous. And she sees her going towards the rock in some sort of trance. So she also disappears. So it's the 3 older girls and the teacher that disappear initially, and they can't get any more information from the girl who did come back. Eventually, part of the tourists that are near Hanging Rock as well, one of them is a young man who sees the girls and thinks they're quite pretty, so he spends the night at the rock to try and find the girls, and he's eventually found passed out with a note in his pocket giving them directions to where he saw one of the girls, and one of the girls, millionaire heiress, is found alive, unconscious, and without her corset. What a hussy. But she's actually found, and she doesn't have any memories either, so she comes back goes back to her life, everything's fine. But the two girls and the teacher, no trace of them is ever found. They can't even find tracks to where they actually climbed or how they got to the rock at all. It's all very strange. There's a sinister edge to it, but there's also sort of a supernatural, or like they said, an otherworldliness to it, because some of the characters in the book do think about whether it might be a murderer or a rapist or a kidnapper, but the events leading up to it are so strange, and the people who came back their minds are so messed up that it just feels like it's something else, that there's something freaky going on at Hanging Rock. Now, I thought the mystery of the book, the complete mystery, the fact that you never actually find out what happens to the girls, I thought that was going to bother me, because I like to get some sort of an inkling as to what's going on. But I actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the weirdness of it. I really enjoyed that the story mainly sticks to the people surrounding the girls and outside of the girls. So you're just sort of watching these girls go away and not knowing anything. It is very much like a true crime. I've been binging a lot of true crime YouTubers who tell the story of mysteries and unsolved mysteries and stuff. And it's very much like that. It's very odd. I was sort of thinking of it as a real true crime and pointing at some of the characters thinking, he did it, she did it. But that's not the case. The girls just disappear into thin air. And I also haven't spoiled the entire book. There are other mysteries and other potential crimes that happen to the people surrounding the girls and the college and the community. So I haven't spoiled the book. I've basically just spoiled the setup of the book, because all of the disappearance happens in the first couple of chapters. It's almost immediate that these things happen, and it's just the aftermath that this book is exploring. So if you have watched this far, you can still enjoy this book. So I did enjoy this book. I'm glad I read it. It wasn't exactly what I expected. I expected more. I expected to learn more, but as I said, I did still enjoy the mystery of it, and I would recommend this for any true crime fanatics who may have gone through all the actual true crime. This is a great fictional complement to those stories, I think, and it's one that could absolutely be true as well. And it's quite slim, and I finished it in just a couple of days, so not a bad start to finishing off my TBR. So that is Picnic at Hanging Rock. It's apparently a movie and TV show as well, so I'll be checking those out at some point. If you like what I'm doing here, you can like and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video. That's all I could think was spiders, 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 spiders.